Snoop Dogg, he's weighing in during the writer's strike, in which he's saying basically that, and I think fairly and accurately, that the streaming platforms for musicians find a way to screw the artists out of a lot of money, do they not?
Yes, he's talking about streaming.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's go into it here. So he says the writers are striking because streaming, they can't get paid because when it's on platform, it's not like in the box office. He's basically saying, you know, like once you sell that show to HBO, you've sold it and you're not really making a lot of money on the back end the same way that you do. I don't think box office is actually the best comparison. I think network television is the best comparison, being that when you sell like when you go and you make a show on network television, there are residuals once it goes into syndication, right? So those people who wrote and acted in Seinfeld and wrote and acted in Friends are making gazillions of dollars every year because of the cultural relevance those shows still have. Look at The Office goes from network, it literally gets sold from streaming service to streaming service because it's so popular, it will bring people in to watch it. So those people should make that money. And he's arguing here. He says, much of the conversation, which took place at the Milken's Institute of Global Conference, revolved around Jackson's newly launched Gamma business and its significant investment in Vidya, its digital distribution arm, which established a major foothold in Africa in 2017. Was Snoop Dogg the one recently who said that if all black people moved to Africa, they'd be the most powerful nation in the world? Might have been somebody else.
Well, that's wrong because Africa's a whole continent.
Yeah.
So shut up, dummy.
They didn't say continent in the in
Africa's
the
a whole continent. There's a whole bunch of countries. What the hell are you talking about?
So it says Gamma's entrance into Africa and the Middle East excludes the it includes the appointment of Sifo Lamini, the new president of the regions, and they go into talking about basically royalties are bad for streaming, right? Like you're making a couple of cents per play.
Oh, I wish.
Like not even a couple of cents a cent per play?
No. 0.7 of 1 cent
per play.
Per play.
So you make so it's like per 5,000 plays you get a certain amount.
Yeah.
What
it's bad. Well, it's very bad.
So what do they do to fix it? They can't unionize.
Well, no, it's what has to happen is there has to be people that know about I don't know exactly how to fix it. I assume that I think that people that are doing their own stuff, right? So people that are releasing their own music now that are not going through labels. I don't think that you can do anything about the past. So if you signed a label, like All That Remains signed to labels, years and years ago, I don't think we can do anything about the past. Moving forward, we're not on a label right now. We're talking to a bunch of different companies about distro deals and licensing stuff. So we're going to get a really, really, really good deal because if a label doesn't want to do it, I can do everything on my own. Yeah. Right. All That Remains can do everything. Now, it'd be nice to have a label that has the infrastructure and do a deal with someone so that way they have the radio crew and an infrastructure to do it. But we don't need it. Yeah. And so now because we don't need it, I don't have to give the songs away in perpetuity. So when all the records that we've written, someone else owns the music, right? Anything I do in the future, I will own it. Right. Yeah. Like I'll license it. You can promote it and sell it or help me sell it, but then it's going to come back to me after either 5 or 10 or something years. Yeah. So I'm not giving things up forever. The amount of money that I make on platinum records now, like a platinum record, and it's not a bunch of money. Yeah. Like I don't have to work another job if I want to sit at home and just sit at home and do nothing. I can do that, but I'm not going on trips if I'm doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I think the issue too is ever since the digital age of music. So when CDs fell out of favor and the iPod got big, right? Yep. I think it's either been the artist is making $1.30 per song, which that's hard to do if you're an average listener, is to shell out $1.30 for every song you want to listen to.
But they're not making the $1.30. I mean, that's getting cut up between the record label.
I know. Yes. But now the pendulum swung the complete opposite way, where like the average listener is there's paying $10 a month for unlimited songs. So we need to find that middle ground where it was a little bit pricey before, and now it's dirt cheap. Well, we need to find that middle ground.
You're never getting it back. People, now that music is thought of as free, and that's essentially what it is, no one will ever pay for songs. They'll pay for They'll pay because they like the artist. That's why artists have to be content creators nowadays.
The best artists nowadays have learned. I was talking about this recently. It's like all of the most successful artists that I'm seeing, they're not even just doing it through music. They're doing it through viral marketing, and they found a way to brand themselves. Right? You're no longer able. Like everyone kind of has to be a Renaissance man in that field.
For new artists, I think, like All That Remains, we can rely on our fan base. We built a fan base before, so like we put something out, we know that people are going to get it. Obviously, we want to do as much as we can to support social media and produce content for our fans and stuff like that. But we know that we have a built-in fan base of people that will check out our music, at least a floor. New bands, they don't have that stuff, so they have to look at different ways of getting traction. The best way is not a label. If you can learn how to do this stuff on your computer at home, you can get really, really high quality production stuff just at your house, right?
Like Tom McDonald has like 3 million subscribers now, and does that all like him, his girlfriend, and his parents are like the people that do everything. And like, but when you think about it, like, cause he mails out albums and stuff like that, and he's like, it's boxes and boxes, and it's like that's days and days and days of work. People don't realize just how much, like, they don't realize how much those labels provided infrastructure. Back then.
I don't know Tom McDonald, and I wouldn't speak about what he does do, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Tom McDonald working hard doing all the stuff himself was a little bit of a show, or there's him helping out, but then he had an infrastructure behind him, because it's not like he ain't making the money.
Well, you know, Serge was telling me, because Serge does music as well, he produces music, that there's companies that, you know, if you sell 500 units, they will process and do everything. They'll take a cut. It's not a label, though. You know, so there's now these companies.
That's what we're talking about.
Right. So these companies have propped up now where they're like, okay, you want to release a physical, they'll be like, oh, do you want to release physical media? Which is kind of crazy to think about. That's not the norm anymore. But
right now, like I said, we're literally in the process of talking to multiple companies right now, distros and stuff. And they're all just digital. We totally, if we want, we're actually having a problem finding a company that's like, yes, we want to put out physical.
Would it not?
Or at least not a problem, but there are more just digitals that are coming with than digital and physical.
If you were to like poll, your fans on Twitter, and you asked what they would prefer, and they chose physical media, would that make sense for you from a business standpoint?
On Twitter, they'd probably say, "Who's All That Remains?"
Sure.
But on Instagram or whatever.
Let's say people like said, "Hey, Phil, we will purchase, your physical media, whether it's records or CDs or USB drives, whatever it may be, we'll purchase the physical copies of it." Would that make more sense from a business standpoint nowadays, or do you guys want to kind of find the best way possible in the digital landscape?
I want to produce products that people will purchase and that people want. So like whatever people want to listen to the music on, I want to provide a way for them to listen to All That Remains on that platform. I don't care what it is.
I know. I found the issue that like new cars don't have CD players. Like my car, it's not even new. It's a few years old, but no CD disc, nowhere to put a CD. I've got a little USB port. But
I bought my Jeep last summer, and there's no CD player. It's Wi-Fi, and then there's a USB-C port, which surprised the crap out of me that they had a C. But they had regular USB-A, USB-C, one USB-C, and then a bunch of USB-As.
Yeah, so it's like I would love to, start collecting CDs, but I have no way to play them currently.
There's that amazing. Have you ever seen the meme of like Leonardo DiCaprio and he's like in Titanic when he's showing the art to Rose
and it's CDs
and it's CDs. He was like impressing my crush with my CD collection in the 90s. Back in the day. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit. So it says the partnership with Snoop Dogg involves the exclusive rights to market and distribute Death Row Records catalog. He bought Death Row Records, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So as somebody who grew up loving Tupac.
I just bought a Death Row. I just bought the old school, the white one.
Yes.
Just bought it this past weekend, and I was wearing it. Like I didn't. It's kind of a crappy shirt. I wish it was I bought it at like Spencer.
The quality is bad.
I want to find someone that makes like a nice shirt.
I have the black one with the red logo.
Yeah.
And it's just a belly shirt basically. I can't wear it, but I
want that. Like a good shirt with that cool logo.
That logo was awesome back in the day. Death Row Records ruled. So it says Snoop Dogg could have gone to any 3 major labels, but he would have been getting paid on a biannual basis. But now that Gamma has the financial analytics dashboard, we're paying Snoop Dogg once a month.
We just got a $20 super chat. Unusable alpaca again. Vanilla Ice was sued over Ice Ice Baby.
Oh, because it's like under pressure.
Have you ever heard him describe that? He's like, yo, the other one goes ding, 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 ding. But mine goes ding, 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 ding. And that's what does it. I swear he was trying to, maybe it wasn't a snap, it was like ding, ding, ting, or something like that. But he was like, yeah, that little change is whatever.
That's what made
I don't know if it bothers.
That and the flat top. That and the fade and the flat top is what did it.
And the lines in the eyebrow.
Yeah, of course.
Vanilla Ice, like when I try to picture him, I just keep picturing Kid Rock.
You know.
I don't know why.
Dude, actually, if you like right now,
metal, right? The Vanilla Ice went in to do metal music,
and he also does home renovations now. He had a show on HGTV, and he looks like himself still. I mean, he looks like an older
he's
version.
In good shape,
and he's in great shape. And he does, like Kid Rock looks like he never stopped drinking. Yeah. Vanilla Ice looks like he stopped drinking and decided to take care of himself once he hit 40.
Started some own projects.
Yeah, you know.
they singled out the issue of royalty rates and streams on YouTube Shorts, which
awful. Awful.
There's if you want to make money, YouTube Shorts is the opposite way to do it. It's not the way to do that. I think we had like one recently, like a stream that like a short that did really, really well. It got over 3 million views. I think it made like $100.
Yeah.
If I understand well, Reels are good on Instagram.
They got rid of the partner program on that.
Oh, God.
That was like I was making like somebody like me who doesn't has like a small like 10,000 followers on Instagram, but was like I used to get way more views back when I was skating every day and I was putting out content every day. Now when you're not putting out content every day, you're not getting those views because the algorithm punishes you for not putting something out every day. And I was still making like a little bit of money every month.
This is a totally different subject, but it's so infuriating that like Instagram doesn't just look at what TikTok is doing and say, let's do that. Like all the they're trying, but they're blowing it. It's like all the small things that TikTok does, which promote people, like make people get into like algorithms.
Phil wants to be the Dylan Mulvaney.
I am not going to be on. I have a TikTok, but I barely use it because I can't make a TikTok. I can make TikToks, but I can't produce TikToks and do acting. I'm not an actor. I don't want to be a.
Twitter's starting to become more TikTok with its algorithm, and it's really getting annoying.
I have always liked Twitter, and I've been a fan of Twitter, and I don't have a whole lot of problem with Twitter right now. I don't go into the For You thing very much. So that's probably
I was going to say, depending on how long you look at a photo or video, or if you interact with it, if you comment, like it's completely changing the algorithm, and they're tweaking it on the fly because Elon's trying to make it better. Facebook, who owns Instagram, they've been notorious for just ripping off other people's proprietary
they just buy the
intellectual property, or they just buy
the company.
I have nothing good to say about Facebook or Instagram.
Snapchat, TikTok. There's been other examples that it's been years since they've had any controversy, but they try their best. They try their best to rip off other people.
The thing I think is there's so many times when I see a video on TikTok, or I'm sorry, on Instagram that I want to actually get the video, download it, and they won't let you download the videos. TikTok, you just pull it off. They're like, whatever, man, it's cool. It's like, why don't you do that, Instagram? What the hell is wrong with you?
You have to download a second.
I don't like what is up with that? Like, why? And I mean, look, like I said, I hate Instagram anyways, so it's not like I'm dying to post on there. But
are you gonna join that Blue Sky?
I probably should get Phil That Remains because I get Phil That Remains everywhere, so I probably should try. I don't think that it's going to be it's definitely not going to be a situation where I'm going to go and have a lot of people that I get along with, because it's definitely liberals and progressives are separating themselves. There's going to be a lot of progressives over at Blue Sky and a lot of regular liberals.
I don't think it's going to last because it's like that Mastodon thing. Humans are creatures of habit.
Isn't it easier to use? Isn't Blue Sky as easy to use as Twitter though? Because part of the problem with Mastodon, if I understand correctly, is it was difficult to use, specifically for normies.
I have no idea. Okay. I'm not on the Blue Sky, but what I understand is there's more content moderation that you can do for your own feed. So it's using AI, and you could be like, I don't want to see guns ever, and that's like a setting you can choose and stuff like that. So
why? I mean, I know that
I don't know.
I know people don't there are people that complain about the For You tab, but the For You tab reflects what you interact with. If
Yeah.
you let things upset you and then you complain about them, your For You tab is going to make you mad.
Yeah.
You know,
That's literally what it's going to do.
I'm glad it's happening because like streaming services and social media are kind of having the same issue where there's so many players in the field. People are just like, I'm done with it. Like, I don't want any part of this.
Just don't care anymore.
Yeah, which is good because we don't need the streaming services. Too many of them. Let's just go back to cable. Just let cable be a little bit more unhinged.
No, just give it all to Netflix.
And
Just let Netflix own
social
everything,
media,
so I
man.
can-
We've tried the social media experiment and look where it's gotten us. You know, now we're good. So
I'm the opposite on the streaming services. Look, I buy physical media. I don't have as much here. I left most of it all in Minnesota just because I don't want to have to like rebuild. Like there's something about like having half of it in one place and half of it in another. But in general, I like being able to go and check out different stream. Like I found actually like what's weird is like my mood will reflect what streaming services I watch. So yes, so like HBO ends up being weekends because there's more movies there that I end up watching.
Okay.
That and then Hulu tends to be the stuff I watch during the week because that's where most of the shows that are like full series dramas that are from start to finish are there. Up like there's dozens of them that I can choose from.
How many streaming services do you have?
A lot of them.
dude, I should know. Too many. That's the answer.
You guys don't even know?
Maybe like 5 or 6.
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. I don't consider Amazon Prime because I don't even use it for. I buy stuff off Amazon Prime. HBO Max, Peacock. I think that's it. I had BritBox for a while. I like BritBox for British television, but I don't have that one. I got rid of Disney Plus, so I did my good deed.
I got rid of Disney Plus.
I did my
I've
good
not,
deed
I've
by
not
getting
gotten rid of Disney. Disney Plus I have, and I have Apple.
And I don't have Apple.
I've got Netflix, Hulu.
I'm an Apple whore. I have everything Apple.
You know what's really
people give me
good,
crap
and
on
it's only like $5 a month, is Paramount.
I have Paramount.
I
No,
tr-
yeah, but that's with ads.
I got Paramount because I wanted to watch Halo, and I hated it. And
Halo
now I'm
was
mad,
so bad.
And now I'm mad at Paramount
It's so bad.
for ruining it.
But it's
I had to pay to watch something I hated.
You think they're gonna get a second season?
I hope not.
I think they will.
God damn it.
Paramount
so bad.
Paramount guys has Jericho and it has Under the Dome. And a couple of these other
Yellowstone,
shows,
right?
and yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, Paramount has Yellowstone?
Yeah,
I should watch that because there's a lot of people that talk about it.
I want to watch the older one, which I haven't gotten around to it. Apparently, like the 1883 or
1883 is
whatever.
really good. I like 1883
better.
better than I like.
And then there's like a
Yellowstone. 1923. I have not watched 1923 yet.
God,
I will.
the Yellowstone universe.
I will start watching it, and then I will sit there and I will peruse Twitter the entire time it's on, and I will have no idea what happened.
That's it's the thing. Like for me, like during the week. Most television I put on, it's background noise.
Yeah.
Like that's why they're like, you should review this. I'm like, dude, when I get off work, I just want to put something on in the background and relax. I've watched a couple of things recently that I reviewed Citadel for 2 episodes. Even then, it was so boring and paint by numbers that by like halfway through, I had to stop myself and put my phone down because it was not interesting.
You know what? The last thing that I actually sat down and tried to watch and get into was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And I haven't, and after that I was like, all right, I'm kind of over it. And after that, like, I don't watch any, like, I think I just have no hope for any episodic stuff to be worth a crap. I just am so over everything. I'm just like, I'm sure this is going to be terrible.
I gave up on Marvel ages ago.
Yeah. I right after that first, I think I spoke about it yesterday, right after the first Endgame movie, when they were like, oh, we killed off half the characters. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Then they're like, just kidding. We're going to go back in time and save everyone.
It's comics.
And that ruined it.
I see. That's the thing. I was like, it's comic book. It's perfect comic book stuff. It's exactly what comic books do. So it didn't bother me because it was comic book stuff. I was like, this is, if you read, like, you read comics growing up, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I read a lot of comics growing up, and like that was so right in line with what comics do, especially like Golden Age stuff.
I will say that the last show that I liked enough to rewatch was Reacher, but that was like back in 2021 when that came out, and that second season.
I find
that
that like a lot of times I'll find shows that are already like 5-6 seasons established, and then I'll be like, okay, because you have a proven dude with how many cancellations we get these days, it's hard to even get into anything.
Some of my favorite shows have only get like 2 seasons and canceled, and I love them.
I watched it was 1899 which was
got one season, it got canceled.
But he got canceled like 2 weeks after the first season dropped.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, that is such a terrible metric. It upsets me.
These shows, like there's a show called Rosewood. It's like this show starring Morris Chestnut. It's like the most paint by numbers like medical police procedural. Loved it. Had Alfre Woodard in it, and like of course 2 seasons and just axed immediately. That was back when Fox would be like, they'd wait 2 seasons to find out if you liked it, and then as soon as you said you liked it, they're like, well, too bad for you, and then they'd cancel.
Oh, that Dasovic kid likes it. Yank it. Pull the plug.
Maybe not just me, but in general, they're like, oh look, people like it. Psych, not anymore. You don't get it anymore.
So I mean, it's hard, and then that's just it though. It's like we're dealing with that on top of we both have 6 at least different streaming services, so
make me feel
too much,
guilty.
man.
Streamline your life, boys.
Less is more.
Streamline your life.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.